Thank you, Gareth, and thank you for having us. My name is Isabella, and I work at the International Office at Manchester Metropolitan University. And today it's my pleasure to introduce you to the university, to why choose Manchester Met, and how to apply. And we'll be talking about postgraduate degrees, so masters mainly. And also with me, I have a current student. Mustafa, if you want to say hello to everyone as well and introduce yourself.
Hi, hello everyone. It's good to see you guys here. I'm Mustafa here. I'm studying my master's in finance at Manchester Metropolitan. I joined ManMet in September 2024, and hopefully, my master's ends in September 2025. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you. Thanks, Mustafa, for joining us. So today we will look at why Manchester Met, how to apply, next steps in resources, and then Q&A. So Mustafa has already kind of presented himself. So it's fantastic to have you here to talk about the student experience. So the way the presentation will work is I will go through different aspects of studying here at Manchester Met, and I will ask Mustafa questions to make sure that he adds his perspective onto all of those different student aspects. So we're going to start with why choose Manchester Met. So we are very lucky to be located in one of the best cities in the world, and a very, very well-connected city. So wherever you are in the world, it's within a very easy reach. We've got a very busy international airport with lots of direct flights to main destinations or connecting flights through one of the hubs. So I hope that today we've got students from most of the different places around the world representing the student body. So it's fantastic to have you here. And in terms of where Manchester is located kind of right in the center of the United Kingdom. It's very well connected. Kind of within as a city in terms of public transport, but also connected very well with other cities in the UK. So it takes just over 2 hours to get to London, 3 hours 20 to get to Edinburgh, and also lots of great northwest locations to visit, such as Leeds, Liverpool, and Newcastle. So plenty, plenty, plenty to explore. And one of the reasons why Manchester is so special is that it has one of the largest students populations in Europe. So 100,000 students study here in Manchester, 27,000 international students. So it's a truly, truly student city. It means when you're walking around the streets, especially kind of where we're located in the city centre, most of the people that you see around are students kind of running very busy around with their coffees and books. So it's a lovely, lovely place to be. And from other reasons as well, it's one of the best cities to live in as well. So it's a popular location not only for students but also for people here living in the UK. And it's voted as a top three UK city in terms of best student cities as well. Um, it's great for international student investment, so it means also global companies. Of course, we are a fantastic sports city as well. And we've got Chinatown, and Manchester is like a pot of lots of different melting cultures. So it's really, really a great place to be. Um, and if you are already kind of explored everything that the city has to offer, there's more outside of the city itself. So here in the picture, you've got the Peak District. So it's one of the national parks nearby. So just a short train away. So really great for hiking, climbing, mountain biking, and more. So a great place if you like the outdoors as well. But now, before I kind of talk a little bit about why Manchester Met, I would like to ask Mustafa about how and why he's chosen Manchester Met.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Lizzie. So let me take you guys through my decision making when I was trying to apply, when I was actually at the position of these attendees right now. So I had done my research all over the UK. I've gone through I've gone through the employability segment. I've been through my academia as well. So when I found Men Med offered the course that I wanted to study, it was a complete mixture of, for example, a professional thing, an academia thing, and as well as giving me the opportunity. Being in Manchester will give me the opportunity to be social as well. So, for example, Manchester has got the best social life. I'll tell you the best nightlife there is to offer. So you guys will enjoy it as well, that part as well, and plus the study. Yeah, Manchester being this actually being the student city means that you can make friends from different backgrounds, from different education perspective. So you got to know different perspective overall. So yeah, all that. Plus, when I was considering different programs in different universities, so Met's course content, the number of units that they taught us in the masters were very were the actual thing that intrigued me towards, because those were the skill set that I was actually looking forward for into my professional growth as well. So yeah, that was basically the main reason why I chose Met and this specific Masters in Finance programs. Yeah.
Thank you, Mustafa, and thank you for the introduction as well to kind of the university and why you've chosen us. And a little bit about us. So we are a large university. So we've got 43,000 students. We're one of the most applied to universities in the UK. We've got 5,000 international students. We're a great student community, a very large alumni network as well. And we are, in terms of the campus, we are located in the city centre. It's one campus, and we've invested very heavily in that campus. So over 400 million has gone into the facilities to make sure that you've got a fantastic experience as a student. We're also a research active university, so 90% of our research is world leading and internationally excellent, and that obviously informs them courses, including master's courses that we teach. And also the social aspect, as Mustafa mentioned, it's a large university, so a lot to do in terms of your hobbies of sports and societies to join. And if you want to learn a little bit more, and if you want to have a look around campus, we've got the virtual tour. So you can see a snippet of the campus there. And if you scan the QR code, that will take you to our virtual tour. And that includes also accommodation. So in terms of the university, I've mentioned we're a city centre campus, and we've got a mix of very brand new buildings. Some of them opened literally just a couple of months ago, like the Dalton building, the Science and Engineering building. But some of our universities date back to where we first started, some of our buildings. So that's, for example, the School of Art, which dates back to the 19th century. So we've got a lot of character, a lot of beautiful architecture, kind of classical and modern. So a really, really nice place to hang around. And obviously, in terms of Mustafa's experience, you've mentioned why you chose Manchester. But I wanted to follow up on that. And what is your favorite thing about Manchester, the city itself?
Honestly speaking, so basically Manchester is the hub of student, and what it offers is the diversity of culture. You got to know everyone. You can get pieces from every culture, every part, and plus the food as well. So one more thing that Manchester has to offer is you can actually experience the taste of food that you guys had at your hometown. So you can actually have that flavor here as well. So that was the case for me too. So that one thing I can vouch for, you'll get your hometown food taste here, and then yeah, the diversity of people here you can have plus the sport part of Manchester. So whenever it's the game day in Manchester, you'll see streets crowded with people, with fans. They might be going to, and up until now, since I've been to Manchester, I haven't seen the Derby day, the match between City and United. So yeah, once that came in, that will be a totally a different experience as well. So Manchester is a complete package for any person from any background, or from any phase of life, being a student, professional, anyone. Manchester offers you everything there's to offer for a life here.
Thank you. And yeah, I remember you told me that it's the food is almost as good as home, almost
Yeah,
as
yeah,
good,
it
right?
is.
Very
Yeah, it is.
close.
Yeah.
Okay, so some of the things that Mustafa, of course, mentioned. So we've got a lovely international community. Manchester is a really great place to study. Um, And also there is the campus that's been really heavily invested in. Obviously, we might appear as a modern university when you look at the campus, but actually we've been going around for almost 200 years. So our history dates back to 1824. But there's other two things that we've not mentioned yet. So we do have generous international scholarships. And when you graduate, we do have lifelong career advice and resources as well available for you. And there are a couple of other things that are worth mentioning. So to start with, we really care about our students. That's what we're here for. So in the NSS, the National Student Survey, the university has done very well to show that we've got that outstanding student experience and that care for students. So we're proud to be in the top 15 in England for outstanding NSS results. And this is voted as students. So students actually complete the survey. We're also named as a gold university in the teaching excellence framework. So you can think of this excellence framework as almost like the Olympics. So you can win gold, silver or bronze. So we are a gold university, so outstanding university in terms of teaching. And we're also ranked top 50 in the UK. So currently placed 46th in one of the national rankings, and that's actually the highest ranking we've had. And the university has really, really grown in rankings over the past decade. So we are definitely on the up in terms of improving our rankings. And it's a large university, as I've mentioned. So we've got 4 faculties. We'll not have the time to go into kind of each department, each course today, but I'm just going to give you an idea of what you can study. So we've got arts and humanities, business and law, health and education, and science and engineering. So within arts and humanities, we've got lots of different areas of humanities. So English, history, politics, sociology, communications, linguistics. But then we also have the creative offering. So we've got fashion, architecture, arts, design. We've got a school of theatre and a school of digital arts, which is focused on kind of the digital side of arts as well, a really up and coming area. Then we've got the business and law school. So within the business, we've got Department of Finance and Economics, and this is where Mustafa is studying. We've got marketing, international business, tourism. There is events, hospitality management, people and performance. So people and performance is the areas of management, entrepreneurship, strategy, enterprise, sustainability. And then we also have the law school. So within our law school, you can study all kind of from the very beginning of a foundation program in law, ending at the bar practice. So you can go through all of the kind of law qualifying degrees here at Manchester Met. And then into health and education. So we teach lots of different areas within health professions. So that includes physiotherapy and nursing, for example. We also have psychology, social care, social work, and different areas of education. So we train teachers, so we've got teacher training, and we also teach other areas, more general areas of education, such as educational leadership, for example. And then science engineering. So we've got 5 different departments here. So we teach engineering, maths, we teach natural sciences, we teach sports, and a couple of other areas as well in the science. So you'll see that the university offers the majority of programs. There's probably 2 areas that I can think of that are often popular for international students that we don't offer. So Manchester Met doesn't have a medical school, so we don't offer medicine and we don't offer dentistry. So these are the 2 kind of areas that unfortunately we're not able to offer, but the rest I think you'll be able to find with us. And now just some highlights in terms of the different faculties. So within arts and humanities, we perform very strongly in rankings. So for example, our architecture program is ranked 5th in the world. And then within the UK, we've got 6 for interior design, 7 for animation and games design, 10th fashion and textiles, 13 for creative writing, and also in terms of global rankings, the arts and design subject area in general is ranked as a top 100. Before I kind of go over to the Faculty of Business and Law, I wanted to kind of just ask Mustafa, is there anything that you would like to share about the business school. Obviously, I'm guessing you spent a lot of time in this building. So this is the business school. This is one of the kind of atrium areas with the fantastic stairs and facilities. So yeah, maybe do a little bit of an introduction from your point of view.
This place, this picture down there, I can see it because this place
On
has
your
been home
on
to
your
me.
camera. So it's just a picture of our business school as you kind of
Yeah,
looking down from the seventh floor all the way down to
yeah,
the
I know.
canteen.
This place has been home to me because everything. I've done classes here, I've done meetings here, I've done everything. So basically, in faculty of business law, what the university have provided us is we've got the definitive and Reuters terminal in order to get your financial analytics and financial data as well. One, and then university is also they've got the license for Bloomberg as well. So Bloomberg is one of those. Those key financial tool that is needed for today's financial world to so university is trying to provide that tool as well in order to us to build
Mm.
on a skill and when we go into the professional world. So yeah, these two are the two new initiatives that the faculty of business has done. And apart from this, so the one thing when I came into this building every day, so is the coffee shop right next to the
Yeah.
door. So we
Yes.
all go there. There's a long queue there in the morning. So, and pause that, yeah. So we've got lunch, everything. So this building offers you everything. We've got IT rooms, we've got long conference room, lecture theaters, everything. So anyone who's coming in the future in doing business here. So I'm telling you, this place will be your home, and you'll actually enjoy it because the building is designed and made in a way that it actually provides you everything. So anything that is needed during the day, you'll get it from here. Anything, yeah.
It's got a little bit of the way it looks, it kind of feels professional. So you'll probably, when you go on kind of the virtual tour, if you or if you visit Manchester, if you study here, you will see that each of the buildings got its own character, and it almost reflects what we teach. So the business school is kind of got a very fresh professional look. And from the point of view of kind of academic and teaching excellence, this is a very special business school. It's triple accredited business school. And the triple accreditation is a great hallmark of excellence. So only 1% of schools in the world actually achieve the three accreditations. That's EQUIS, ACSB, and AMBA. So you really will be studying in one of the kind of world-leading business schools. We've got a fantastic placement team as well, lots of employability events, guest speakers, field trips. A very interesting element of the teaching is the live client briefs. Perhaps, I don't know, Mustafa, you might be, I don't know if you'll be taking that module, but it's basically a real life business coming in and giving a task to students, and students actually have to work on that and deliver it with the business. So it's an actual here it could be a local business, could be a national business, could be an international business that's coming in with an issue and needs our students to basically find the solution. And sometimes even that solution can be taken on by the business. So we do give students a lot of opportunities to interact and to network. And we also have lots of other accreditations and connections. And we've got the law school, like I mentioned, where you can study all the law qualifying degrees. We've got a lot of practical elements here as well. And what you can see, hopefully, here in the picture is the MOOC courtroom. So it's like a mock-up courtroom. Looks very real. And this is where you can practice your skills as well. So we've got a lot of links with law firms, and Manchester, outside of London, of course, is one of the biggest legal hubs as well. And then on to health and education. So we've got outstanding world-class education research here in the education department. We also have a couple of subject areas which rank really highly. So that's food science, for example, and physiotherapy. And we actually train a large number of teachers every year. So around 1,000 new teachers graduate from this faculty every year. So outside of London is the biggest provider. And then on to science and engineering. So we've got a couple of outstanding areas here, including electrical electronic engineering, which is ranked second in the UK. We also perform very strongly for sports. So we are sixth in the UK for the power research related to sports. So things like sports science, sports and exercise science. We're also a very sustainable university. So for kind of over a decade now, we've been ranked top three in the UK. And we also have, which I've mentioned, that new Dalton building, which is state-of-the-art new building. Over £100 million has gone into that building. So I'll give you a glance into that as well. So this is what the building looks like. It's got fantastic hands-on kind of gives you a fantastic hands-on experience. We've got a super lab, which is a very, very large kind of room for students with everything that you need in terms of sector leading facilities. It looks absolutely fantastic, and it's an open space. It really encourages collaboration. We also look into things like VR and AR, as well as extended reality, so XR. We really want to encourage students to innovate and collaborate. So the building was designed especially to do that, to kind of invest in your future and invest in the future of science and engineering. And then the area of sport that mentioned is really important for the university, which obviously makes sense as we're in Manchester, which is a fantastic sports city, not only for football, but lots of different areas such as cycling, swimming, and more. So the university works very closely with lots of different sporting bodies. That includes UEFA, Sports England. We work with Olympians and Paralympians, with gold medalists. We've got fantastic facilities here, such as the environmental chamber, MRI scans, and more. So you can study lots of different areas of sports. It could be sports exercise science, could be sports management, sports marketing, sports psychology. There's a lot of different areas that we cover. Also sports nutrition, for example. And we're top 100 in the world for sports related programs. And as I mentioned, six in the UK when it comes to research. And this is the new Institute of Sport building, which is just across from the business school. Also a beautiful new addition to the campus. So Mustafa, you talked a little bit about what impressed you about the course and of course in the faculty. Is there anything else you want to add about your course at the MSc Finance program in particular?
Um, Yeah, so whenever any student when he's making a decision of studying, so one aspect would always be what we're gonna be studying there, and then the next part was because any kind of investment into the study is actually leads you to either a better professional career or you're getting yourself into a new stream altogether. So when I was making this decision and on it up till now, because MenMed has offered me loads of help on that matter as well, because in terms of professionally, when you do your studies and then you get those professional helps in terms of building up on your skills and stuff like that. So that also helped me a lot. So the putting into his perspective, for example, being in Manchester, being the second I would say the second biggest city in terms of the financial market would go concern. So MenMed has offered us get career ready week and stuff like that. So where employers comes in and you get to, so you have mentioned it earlier as well. So we get networking events and stuff, keynote events. So that helps us to connect with the right people on the campus, and yeah, if we can build on to that network or that connection can actually lead up to a job or provide you an insight what kind of skill set is needed in the industry. So that's that part. So academia is done, and then the professionalism is also there. And then we've got other facilities. For example, job hub is there to help students. For example, when I came in here, I got back home my CV used to be like a single page or one, and when we came down to UK, I went to this career hub, and the people there told me, yes, here in UK, it is actually acceptable to have a two-page CV, and they have made me. They provided me the insight what is actually required by the recruiters or employers here in UK and what sort of things I need to put into my CV to get an internship or a placement. So it's there. So MenMed offers us the entire thing, not just the academy, I'd be also the professional insight as well. So it really helped me because now I feel like I'm in a better position. I'm more confident in terms of when I apply to anything, any job or any internship here. I feel more confident because now I think I've got the right people with me to help me and support me when I have any problem. For example, proofreading my cover letter or rechecking my CV before applying. So those kinds of help actually helps you and provide you with loads of confidence.
Perfect, thank you. And yeah, I think your point is very kind of works very well here with the employability aspect that I wanted to talk to students about. So obviously you've mentioned the student hub and the careers advice, kind of the CV checking service and so forth. And there's other things like, for example, like the job fairs. There's Future Me Week. So Future Me Week is just a week of basically focus on of your professional development. And there's also jobs for students, which is paid on-campus work opportunities only for our students. So employability is a really important part of what we offer here at Manchester Met. And then there's, of course, placements and internships. So for master's students, because obviously you're with us generally only for 1 year, there's usually kind of short-term placements that could be considered. Obviously, if you're coming here for an undergraduate degree, you can spend probably a 1 year in the placement. But we do have 2-year master programs. So there's a small kind of range of courses that offer a 2-year master's program. So in your first year, you study just as a standalone master's degree. And then your second year, you do almost a year-long internship. So it's a 2-year program basically, and at the 2-year kind of mark, you graduate. These programs are usually kind of within the business school area. And then most of the placements are paid, and we do encourage you to take paid placements and internships. And of course, they do help you to kind of build confidence. And Manchester Met's got fantastic kind of network of partners that we work with. So here are some of the global companies that our students have done internships with. So you got some big names there from Walt Disney to Amazon, but we also work with a lot of local companies and national companies here as well around Manchester. And another area of employability is the accreditations that our courses come with. So an accreditation for a course means that it's been developed with the employers. It's been developed with the thought of basically what's going on in the sector at the moment, making sure that after you graduate, you are ready and you understand the needs of the employer. So, for example, our marketing courses will have the accreditation of CIM, so the Chartered Institute of Marketing. For example, our architecture courses obviously come with the ARB, so Architects Registration Board accreditations, and so forth. So, Mustafa, you've mentioned a little bit about your experience with career support at Manchester Met. Of course, the CV kind of prep and so forth. And obviously, you're here with us today as well, kind of working together with the international office. Can you tell us a little bit about the jobs for students? Because this is your first experience with jobs for students.
Yes, it is my first experience, but obviously because so ManMat has a whole separate platform for jobs for student, and it provides you different kinds of experience. For example, if you're into social media, if you're doing social media market, you can actually go on and join ManMat's social media team and do short jobs with them, and you can actually provide build that into your CV. And then they've got like a segment or academy as specific jobs role as well, participating in a research kind of stuff, providing support to the library staff, and being the student a student advisor at Student Hub. So we've got loads of job here, and you can actually select on and filter onto your preference and build on your experience here in UK. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And of course, we're very happy that you're here with us today through this Jobs for Students platform. And then one more thing to add about employability is Rise. So Rise is a portal. It's kind of new initiative at Manchester Met. It basically kind of collates all different resources, courses, self-study pack, placements, short certifications, and so forth. And this is something to basically enhance your degree. It gives you flexibility in terms of what you want to learn. You can broaden your learning as well. You can gain extra skills, but you can also get credit. So some of the courses, for example, can count towards credits towards your degree as well. So it can enhance your academic results towards the end of your degree. And it's an award-winning initiative. So the university won the Guardian University Award for the best course design, retention, and student outcomes a couple of years ago. I'm going to give you just an example of what you can do. So within Rise, which is available also to the public. So if you want to check it out now, you can. You don't have to be a student for some of the courses. So you could just go on and do that now. So hopefully, maybe my colleague Tyra can type in the link to Rise as well, so you can check it out. So basically, there is self-guided activity, guest talks, workshops, certifications, volunteering, projects, and placements. And all of them are delivered within 6 key themes. So civics, digital, enterprise, internationalization, self-effectiveness, and sustainability. So a lot of really, really good resources out there for you. So here is, for example, a package that I would always recommend to every single new student at Manchester Met. It's the Step Up to Study self-study pack. And it's actually comprises of 5 courses. I've just given you an example of 3 different ones here. So this is, for example, Introduction to Studying in Higher Education, the differences and similarities, practical tips for well-being in higher education, and your academic voice. So these are just some of the themes that are really, really helpful, I think, for you to understand before you start the university. And now we're just going to go on to some of the practical elements of, obviously, of application process and accommodation and all the other areas of student life. So in terms of accommodation, we do have on-campus accommodation for postgraduate students, although it is limited. So most of our on-campus accommodation is for our first-year undergrads, but there is some limited availability. And we also work with a private provider called Manchester Student Homes. And Manchester Student Homes offers a wide variety of different options. So student halls, flat shares, apartments, studios, house shares, and so forth. And is our trusted partner. So you can look through their website as well, and we work very closely together. And if you decide to rent privately, you can also get some guidance around your contracts and guarantors as well. And of course, cost of living is very important. Manchester is a very large city. And it's, of course, not as expensive as London, but you still have to make sure that you budget and that you're ready for the expenses of being a student here at Manchester Met. So I'm going to give you some ideas in terms of the estimates around kind of cost of living. So of course, it really depends on your lifestyle. But accommodation, it's anything between 140 to 246 per week in terms of kind of on-campus accommodation. Of course, you need to think of your shopping, household bills, a mobile phone, clothes, and so forth. So if you live on campus and it's a university-owned accommodation, usually the rent includes most of the bills. If you rent privately, of course, you will have to make sure you cover all the additional bills. So I think a good thing about Manchester is that it is full of students. So it's kind of been designed to students and designed for student savings. Mustafa, do you want to add anything around kind of money saving tips for future students? How can students save money, or kind of what deals are out there for students here in Manchester?
So yeah, money is the biggest talk of the town for a student, basically, because we all are living on a budget, and we need to squeeze ourselves every month into that small budget. Yeah, so always look out for discounts, because Manchester has loads of discounts to offer, because this is a student city, and every employer, every business owner understand this part as well. So they do offer the student discounts. if I remember, so in September when it's usually the year start for students, so most of the of the either the furniture or the clothing and the stationery shops, they offer those student discounts to new incoming students. So you've got your if you have got your apartment to fill in, your place, your living space to fill in, you've got furniture there, you've got discounts for your stationery, your university essentials, um, and then yeah, all year round you've got loads of discount because you've got Christmas discounts, you've got November discount, and plus um, there's this student body called Totem. They do offer you massive loads of discount in clothing, in shopping, in bills, and they do offer you those um, um, necessary guidelines to save money and yeah, just to stretch yourself enough to just pull in your month, and then the next month comes in and it's the same again. Yeah.
No, that's really helpful. And yeah, I think that's a big take for Manchester, that there's a lot of student discounts going on. So hopefully something you can all kind of take advantage of. And of course, in terms of um, your living costs and accommodation and kind of the tuition fees, we of course understand that the costs of studying in the UK are high. And for Manchester Met, we actually have kind of medium range fees. So most of our fees in terms of postgraduate students for a master program range between 20 and 22,500 pounds for the 1 year of study. And we do offer scholarships to help with the cost of studying. So Manchester Met offers international postgraduate scholarships. That's £3,500 in the first year of study. And this applies to the 2025 September intake. So most of our master's programs will be eligible for this discount. There's also other scholarships that are more subject specific, course specific, or department specific. There's also sports scholarships. If you're currently an athlete, if you're practicing a sport as well, you can apply for the sports scholarship. And also within your home country, there might be opportunities. So often the British Council has additional scholarships to consider as well. So again, most of the programs will be between 20 and 22,500 pounds, but you do, as an international student, have the opportunity for the 3,500 scholarship. You don't have to apply for that separately. If you are accepted to university, we will consider you automatically for this scholarship. And then very important, last couple of things to mention is, of course, student support. So we are here when you need us, and there's lots of different areas of student support. So starting from now, from this first conversation today at the webinar, all the way to arrival in Manchester and beyond that. So we've got on-campus student hubs. These are basically like a very large reception area where you come in, and this is where you start your conversation. So if you've lost your student card, if you need any support, if you need to talk to someone, lots of different areas that the student hubs cover. Of course, there's help with your academic kind of matters. There's personal tutors. There's peer-to-peer support. So you might be working with another student. Of course, well-being is really important. So we do have 24/7 well-being support. Of course, there's help in terms of visa process, free English support classes as well when you join us here, disability support as well if you need it, and of course, in terms of safety as well on campus, we've got a really good Safe Zone app that will alert you to anything that you might need to know. And then, Mustafa, what kind of support have you received before or after arrival to Manchester? Could you give us an example of the support that you've kind of benefited from?
Yeah, I'd like to share one of the stories. So, I got admitted into MenMed in May 2024. So, post that I applied for my visa, and I know there was something with UKVI. My case went back to queue, and it wasn't getting any responses. So this is one of the issue with any international student coming in. There could be a case of getting your visa delay. So I approached to MenMed's immigration and visa support team, and I wrote them about my case and provided them all the details. And and they came back to me that they actually had a word with UKVI on a prospective student, and it was actually very that was the point where I thought that yeah, I might have chosen the right university in terms of, because they're supporting me on something that is not theirs to it's mine to control, and so they offered me immigration and visa support. Plus, I did know, and there've been multiple emails coming in. So when you get your visa and everything, the man might ask you about your arrival schedule. So and then they start writing you loads of email regarding the support they've offered. For example, they've got airport arrival team there to support you if you coming into UK, settling in, and then they offer you the first week of university just social, no studies. And you'll actually, it's a good way to make new friends, meet new people, learn the culture, and yeah. So first, so the MedMat's policy is have fun first, and then we'll study.
Of course,
Yeah.
exactly. And then I think it's a really good point that you say that you know we will probably send you a quite large amount of emails, but that's just because we want to make sure that you know that there is support available at all of those different stages. So we'll definitely keep in touch. And for students who are here today, who are still working towards their English, of course, keep going. That's completely fine. We do have a language center where we offer pre-sessional courses. So you can also start your journey with us through the kind of language course first and then join onto a master's. So now I'm going to just kind of swiftly go through a couple of slides because I would like to get to the Q&As as well. So we've mentioned social life. We've got a students' union, which is basically a charity run by students for students. Lots of things to do, from sports to societies here. We've got an international students group as well. So you can join the group at any point, and they do fantastic things. They make sure that your student voice is heard as an international student. And they also do a lot of fun things like trips to York, to London, and lots of different kind of social events. And now we're going to go through just a little bit of how to apply. So when you go onto the website, you'll find your course. You have a look through all the different features of the course, like entry requirements, assessment methods. You can look at the course detail. And if you want to apply, go to the how to apply section. Of course, the entry requirements will be able to help you as well if you've got any questions. And the English language requirement is 6.5 with no element below 5.5 for most postgraduate taught courses. So that's the master's programs. The documents you'll require, it's obviously your certificates, your academic certificates, English language proficiency, personal statement, references. You don't have to have all of this at the time of application, but of course, to actually get accepted, you have to submit all of this documentation. And sometimes some of the courses might require an interview or a portfolio if it's a creative course. So as I mentioned, you go to the how to apply section. That will take you to our application portal. So probably 95% of our programs you can apply through our website. There's a couple of programs where you have to apply in a different route, including UCAS, but majority of the programs is online. You will go onto an application portal where you have to fill in all of the different areas. So from obviously your personal details to employment qualification and so forth. Once you submit that, you will receive your Manchester Met ID number. So you will receive a confirmation to say that the application has been submitted, and you get that number. So keep that number safe. That will become your actual student ID if you enroll. And we do also work with education advisors around the world. So if you feel like you do need a little bit more help, of course, we do have advisors in lots of over 30 different countries. So if you go to our website, you'll be able to find the contact details. And just a couple of final notes is, if you're thinking kind of now, I want to apply, what are the next steps? First, of course, make that application. Hopefully you receive an offer, accept your offer, meet the offer conditions. At that stage, when you've got an unconditional accepted offer, we require you to pay a deposit, which is £5,000. That will allow you to request your CAS. And of course, your CAS, which is the confirmation of acceptance for studies, is required for your visa. So this is a very short kind of map on how you get to Manchester Met. If you want to know more, of course, we're going to have the Q&A, but also we do have lots of webinars and online events around this time of the year. We do anything from kind of accommodation to finance to different subject kind of areas for our prospective students. And we also, of course, travel the world as Manchester Met, and we see students at lots of different events. So if you want to meet us in person, you've got the QR code there as well. You can scan it, and hopefully there will be an event that we visit in your country. And in terms of next steps, connect with us. We've got offices in China, India, and Malaysia as well. We've got current student ambassadors, alumni. There's LinkedIn, there's social media accounts. And if you are very early in your stages of kind of looking at UK, UKISA, the UK Council for International Student Affairs, is a fantastic resource for any student, not only Manchester Met students, but all international students in the UK. And you can chat to our students. This is an example of one of our student profiles. So if you go on the website, you will be able to connect with current students. And of course, last but not least, before we go to Q&As, any top tips from you, Mustafa, for future international students?
Yeah, it would be just be open to yourself, and when applying, be true and honest, and in your essays, write to yourself, and try to pitch in what value you'll be bringing in, and what value you'll be getting out of this program. So that is the main essential of for you to get into a university, because there's a single pager that any application viewer views, and make the decision based on that. So be honest to yourself, be true, and just enjoy it overall. Enjoy the overall process.
Thank you. And yeah, that's a very good point. We do read personal statements, and that's your opportunity to tell us more about yourself. So yeah, make sure that you do put some time into a personal statement. So I think now we're going to go into questions. So let me just
Thank
stop
you.
sharing the
So,
screen.
Izzy, at this stage, thank you very much. I'll come on and just ask the questions that have been asked, because
Yeah.
there's been a few on social media as well that
Okay.
you're not going to have access to. Mustafa, one of the questions that have been asked a lot, and I know the answer to this because I've been to Manchester and I know what it's like, is what is it like to study in Manchester? Now, I know you touched upon it earlier, but every time I go to Manchester, I'm very impressed with just the amount that's in the city without feeling like a London or something like that. There's everything you need there. Unis everywhere, students everywhere, discounts everywhere, nightclubs, you name it, bars, cafes, gyms, great, whatever takes your fancy. But it doesn't feel like the biggest city in the world, which is great because there are a lot of people that live there. But does that add to the fact that it's such a great place to live and study as well?
Um, you know, so basically, it's perspective. So some people might like to be in a cosmopolitan city, a city or a place filled with people every time. There's rush on the roads. You've got to be, and there's some people who like to be in a place where it's calm. So Manchester offers you both. So if I were to give you an example, so if you go on if you are on a 8 a.m. train, and you take off at Oxford Road station, and you go onto that Oxford Road and on Winslow Street, you'll probably find thousands and thousands of students
Yeah.
going down there, either one of those universities. So so the entire experience you get here at Manchester is filled, because you've got students there, you've got sports is there, and plus yeah, the nightlife, the socials, everything. And then you've got like personally, I'm a cricket fan, more so than a football fan. So we've got Old Trafford Cricket Stadium there as well. So in the next summer, we've got quite a few big games there as well. So it's a complete package. So for me, I've got cricket, football, study, nightlife, social life, professional life. It's the complete package. So uh,
And even going back to things to do as well, I was speaking to a student recently who was at a different university within Manchester. They said one of the best things, they're not sporty, they're not into any, kind of sporty things. They said the fact that you could go to, the Yorkshire Dales, which are not a million miles away, you could go drive an hour and you could be within like Morecambe, I think they said, or somewhere like that. And you're never too far away from anything, whether it be the sea, mountain, not mountains, but, natural area beauty, and so on. So that must be so important because whatever you like, whatever you want, it's there. So, next question related to Manchester, and again, Izzy, I don't know if this is probably more related to you instead, from a professional standing, is students will look to come and study where other students are. Um, how and where would students look for opportunities when it comes to funding and scholarship opportunities? Obviously, there are third party. I think there was a question in the chat about Chevening. There are others as well, Commonwealth, Marshall, to name a few. How do students apply for that? And do you support those various platforms?
Yes, so majority of kind of the well-known names like Chevening, of course. Yes, we've got a couple of students currently with us. Actually, we did have a little celebration for our Chevening scholars the other day. So yes, certainly there's the kind of external funding. There's of course the internal funding as well, like we've mentioned, the kind of scholarships. So generally I think there's kind of three scholarships or scholarships type that you can think of. So there is the discount, the tuition fee discount for postgraduate students, the 3,500. There is kind of department specific scholarships. So some of the departments, some of the courses have additional scholarships. And then there's that external funding through British Council, through Chevening, through kind of Great UK and so forth. So I think that's probably the three avenues to explore. Of course, if there are any students on the call from, let's say, the United States, then of course we've got the loans as well, kind of US funding. So most of the kind of standard funding, Manchester Met's got a lot of experience with. We've got a funding team as well that's very knowledgeable in terms of kind of working with those sponsors as well, like Chevening and so forth. So yeah.
And of course, you mentioned earlier about the agents that you seem to have dotted around the world everywhere, which is fantastic. Again, talking about the presentation we've just been through, one of the things that struck me more than anything was how you have an answer for everything, which is great. There'll be many students that are watching this webinar, whether it be live, on demand, at some point in the future, that will say, my English isn't up to scratch. And not every university in the UK will offer a language school that gets it up to scratch. How important is that to emphasize for students that haven't reached that 6.5 IELTS score or any other language test that they've taken, that they can still come and be supported and get them to that level?
I think yes, it's very important, and we do understand obviously that it is often that one challenge, that obstacle, obviously apart from kind of funding, which obviously in the UK, like we mentioned, cost of study, we do recognize that it's high, but often I think the second obstacle is the English, is the language barrier. And yes, you can join us on a 5, 10, 20, 30-week course. So depending on where you are at the moment. So the Language Centre is a British Council accredited language centre. So you can think of us as almost like a language school within, but it's so much more than that, because you're working with people who actually are within the department as well of English, who are working with linguistics. And there's a wealth of resources as well when you join. So when you enroll, we do things like writing consultations. We help you with your academic writing, with presentations, so forth. So the English language support continues when you join. And I think that the big advantage of enrolling onto a pre-sessional course is that if you are not good with exams and you don't want to take that IELTS exam again, this is the one for you, because at the end of it, if you just reach the needed kind of requirement academically, you don't have to take another IELTS. You go directly, if you pass the pre-sessional assessment, you go directly into your master's program.
And that is amazing as well. Like I said earlier, not many universities offer that, which is fantastic. So anyone watching that has concerns, issues, it might be there's a lot of people that are watching that have have employment that English is the first language. However, they haven't got the IELTS score. This might be the one for you. So, one of the things as well that stood out to me was the employability opportunities afterwards. And I know there's in a very competitive marketplace, universities at the moment, there's strengths and strong facilities all over the UK. One of the things that struck me was the partnerships with, I think you had Walt Disney on there, you had a few other biggies on there as well. How important is that to remember that you not only are you in an employment hub, globally, but you did mention a few local businesses as well that you do feed into.
I think it's really good to understand that Manchester, I think it's almost both local and global in a
Yeah,
really interesting way. So there's fantastic local kind of small businesses, small to medium kind of enterprises that would love to work with our students and actually do come to us and ask for our students to work with them. And you have to remember that I think often a company starts with being a local company and then it grows to being a global company. And yes, Manchester attracts a lot of the big names, but not only Manchester, but also the north west area. And I think when I spoke to Mustafa the other day, Mustafa mentioned Leeds as being a very, very big now center for anything to do with finance and kind of investment. So there's a lot of I think development going on in Manchester, kind of away from London. So I think to students who think that you have to study in the capital, I think Manchester's got a lot to offer, and I think there is that obviously element of competition, which obviously is greater in London than it's going to be in
yeah.
Manchester. And I think the university is putting a lot of effort in behind making sure that we basically get students in front of employers through lots of different ways of doing that. And I think that's really important to start making those connections really, really early on if it's a local or global opportunity. And of course, as the university has grown and because it's a large university, we also attract partnerships with those global companies, with the government and so forth, because they want to work with us because we're specialists, for example, in AI or working with SMEs. And there's lots of areas where the national bodies actually do want to work with the university because they recognize the kind of the excellence in that area, which obviously then kind of goes onto the students' course, onto their academic kind of experience. So it is very kind of, I guess it's like an interchangeable relationship between the industry and the university.
And just finally, I'm just conscious of time for anyone
Mhm.
watching as well. Intake dates. I appreciate you pretty much offer every single course other than dentistry and medicine, like you mentioned earlier. But when can students expect to enroll, and can
Mhm.
there be immediate start dates, or are they quite stagnated in terms of January, September, or only September?
So I would say that kind of 90% of our courses will only have the September intake.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you're not looking now, we're accepting applications at the moment for September 25. We do also have a January intake, but we have closed for applications for this year. So for January 2025, unfortunately, we're no longer accepting applications. But there are probably about 25 to 30 courses, often some of the most popular courses, such as courses in management, for example, that do offer the January intake as well. One exception to to those two intakes is our nursing program, which actually starts in February. But the rest, I would say, it's that September intake, kind of the middle of September, when we welcome the thousands and thousands of students on our campus.
I think that's a really good point you just mentioned. I was going to wrap things up, but you mentioned earlier you don't offer the medicine and the dentistry courses. There is so much open book these days when it comes to university courses. I mentioned to you at the start of the session that there's agriculture courses within business now. You mentioned nursing. Then there might be people watching that think medicine is the way forward for me, but actually it's nursing or other related courses. So again, presumably they can go to your website, find out more about the different courses that there are, and perhaps the intricacies within those courses that might suit them.
Yes, so there is a search function by kind of subject areas, which I think is probably the most handy. So
Yeah.
you will be able to, for example, look at anything to do with health or anything to do with business or anything to do with art. And like you said, there's always a way in. So a lot of our students who are kind of been interested in medicine, but maybe gone in a different way, look at biomedical science, for example, which we do offer. Some kind of go into physiotherapy and other kind of areas of health management. And yes, I think that's probably the best way to do it. If there is an area that if you're not sure 100% what you want to study, but that there's a subject area that you love, the university website will probably bring up 5-10 different programs that you want to consider, and then look into each of the courses, look into the modules, and see what you will be studying. So all the content, and I think just start from there. And of course, we are here to help as well. So if you've got a couple courses in mind, you can decide. Do you have questions? That's, I think, I guess the final thing from me and Tyra here, and from Mustafa, from our students. We are here to help. If it's a member of staff or if it's a student ambassador, everyone is happy to kind of take on questions and to continue the conversation. So yeah, don't be shy and reach out.
I'd say that's the most important thing. Make sure anyone not happy or concerned about anything related to studying, it might just be studying in Manchester, not sure on what course is open to you guys. Ask the question. They're all here to help. That's what they want to do. They want to bring you to the city, show you what it's about, and get you studying at the university. Just a reminder, if there is any questions, it has gone into the chat facility, international@mmu.ac.uk. Izzy and Mustafa Anta here in the background as well. Thank you very much. Really appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you again in 2025. Thank you.